Greetings, Flosstube. Today is Sunday, May 8th. Happy Mother's Day to those of you in the U.S. who are mothers or have mothers. And I count those of you with only fur babies as qualifying for motherhood. As a parent of both, I know that taking care of fur babies really isn't all that different. You got to feed them. You got to take them to the doctor. You got to discipline them when they get into your trash can. You know, it's the same. But so for those of you celebrating Mother's Day today, I hope you have a great day. Coming to you from a slightly different location in my home this morning. You can actually see there's the room I usually film in, but it thankfully is an absolutely gorgeous day today here in the Cleveland area. And it is super sunny. And if I had filmed in my usual spot, I would be like squinting like this the whole time. So I decided to try a backup location today. So I actually have quite a lot of progress this week. I tell you, my Mania plans, I don't know, it was a lot of work to set them up, but I've been pretty productive. So I actually have quite a bit of stitching to show you. Also have a little bit of haul, actually quite a bit of haul. And then I'll share sort of where my plans go from here in terms of my Mania plans. Quick life update, really busy week. Softball games getting canceled for my daughter, then last minute games getting scheduled, or a last minute game getting scheduled, which ended up being, holy smokes, I was exhausted after that game. They lost by one run in the bottom of the final inning. It was tied up going into the bottom of the last inning. We were the away team, so of course the home team was getting their last ups at bat, and they scored a run, and so it was all over. But it was by far the team's best game of the season against a quite good team in the area. Our team scored like 4 runs in the first inning, and like just had a great start to the game, and then we had one bad inning and they tied it up, and then we got like 4 or 5 more runs, and then they tied it up again. It was a good game though. And other than that, I had my big work event, which went very, very well, but also sort of had me exhausted by the end of the day when I got home. So the fact that I got stitching done at all, I'm pretty proud of myself. It was sort of one of those where it's like, no, I have my calendar. I have to put at least like a stitch in. And then of course, once you sit down, you don't just do a stitch, right? I did, some days I only did like 70 stitches or something like that, but a couple days I did some more. And yesterday I sat down and just went crazy and almost finished something soon. So why don't we just get right into it? So if you'll recall, those of you, I should say also, I'm being so rude on Mother's Day. Welcome back to those of you. I've seen a few new subscriber notifications this week, so welcome. I hope you're back for more. So happy to have you here joining. And for those of you returning, I always appreciate the time you choose to spend with me. I am a little behind on responding to comments this week. I apologize for that. It's been a super busy week. And I'll get to it. This week coming up is pretty big. That's what I meant to tell you. I guess I could have said it at the end of the video, but I'll say it now while I'm thinking about it. I may not, it's probably 50-50 whether I'm going to record next weekend. I'm supposed to be going camping with my son's Cub Scout pack and my daughter's troop. But my daughter might also have the softball games that were canceled this week rescheduled for next week. It's all up in the air. But if we go camping for the weekend, I'm fairly certain I will probably not record next weekend because we won't get back until Sunday afternoon, and I'll have tents to clean and laundry to do. We'll see. So just a heads up, if you don't see me next weekend, I hopefully didn't get hit by a bus or anything. So, but thank you to those of you who are newly subscribed to my channel. I'm usually a little more organized than I am today. But, so yeah, let's just get right into it. So if you'll recall, I modified sort of the traditional Mania rather than a new start each day or focusing on new starts in May. I'm focusing on working on my whips, like rotating my whips. I tend to get, as I said in my very first video, I tend to be a very monogamous stitcher, but I have so many patterns that I want to stitch. And when I'm a monogamous stitcher, I'm also somewhat of a moody stitcher. So like if I get tired, of the one pattern that I'm working on, then sometimes I don't stitch for ages. And that's a bummer because stitching is therapeutic for me. So I do have lots of whips, but I still fight that sort of, I want to work on only this one. So I decided for Mania that I was going to make a calendar, and I was going to say, okay, so for 3 days in a row, I'm going to work on a whip, and then it's going to get set aside and I'm going to work on the next whip. So that is what I created, was my little calendar, May 1 through 31. And I picked how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 whips and 2.5 new starts to work on for the month. And then at the end of the month, I have planned to revisit a couple of my patterns that I think by the time I'm done with my 3 days on them at the beginning of the month, I'll be really close to finishing. And then I have a substitute pattern in case I do finish something that I can work on if I happen to finish something before its 3 days are out. So for this first week of May, my patterns were to finish gridding the fabric for my Tiny Modernist When Witches Go Riding, which I did. I actually didn't finish gridding it until the 2nd, but I finished it and I started stitching. So I have that to show you. And then the other one I worked on was my Fa La La from Bent Creek. This is one I almost finished. I was very proud of myself. I disciplined myself and said, no, Heather, it's 11 o'clock at night. You need to go to bed and not keep stitching this. So this one's very close to finishing. It's on my calendar again towards the end of the month. I think I'll probably finish it then. And then today, and this is my new start for the day because I wanted to have a new start for this video, so I put like 15 stitches in on my mental health awareness SAL pattern. And so I'll talk about that a little bit more when I get to it. So let's jump in. The first pattern that I worked on was my When Witches Go Riding Stitch Along. As I mentioned, on May 1st, I wanted to finish gridding it. I didn't quite get there. I finished gridding it on May 2nd and then started stitching on it on May 2nd. The beginning of the week, so this was my May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th stitch. My big work event was May 4th and 5th. And May 4th was my late night. I didn't get home until like 9 o'clock. And May 2nd and 3rd, my son was homesick on the 3rd. Stuff was just happening. And so I didn't get as much time to stitch on this as I would have liked, but I did get started on it. So the beauty of gridding is that I could start wherever I wanted. So got the floss over them. Come here, move, floss. Can't see what I'm doing. Okay. So I decided to start with this little crow because he was easy. He starts right up at the top. And then I did find it was really easy to then be able to just look at the grid and the pattern and my grid on my fabric and figure out where to start my little witch down here. So obviously not a ton of progress, about 150 stitches or so total, I think. I don't know. I'm using a paper pattern for this one, so I'm kind of guesstimating just by, how many stitches are in a 10 by 10 grid. So it's actually it's more than 150 stitches. It's probably closer to 200, maybe even over 200 a little. So this is my progress on Tiny Modernist When Witches Go Riding, which was a mystery stitch along. Let me get the picture of the finished piece. Hold on. I have the picture in here backwards so that I can see the floss key. Sorry for the crinkling. I forgot that I was going to have to turn this around for the video. And I'm trying to be careful because I've got the actual patterns in here and I don't want to accidentally show those. So there you go. So this is what the finished product will look like. It's a large piece, but it only has 5 colors. I think most of it will probably actually go fairly quickly because there aren't a lot of color changes. It's just sort of jumping around a bit as you move through things. So I was really happy to finally be able to start this. I would love to have this done for Halloween this year. We'll have to see how life goes as to whether that happens or not. Like I said, it's only 4 colors, so it should stitch up. Okay, I'll fix that later. So it should stitch up quickly, but it is pretty large. So that was my, I guess, technically start / progress on When Witches Go Riding. And then my next pattern that I worked on was my Bent Creek Fall La La, my little llama. And so this is the model, the picture of the model for Fall La La by Bent Creek. And I think the last time I showed this, I had finished sort of this half. So I had all these leaves over here done, I had the words done, and that was it. So prepare to be amazed at how much progress I have made. Let me get Chip and Dale out of the way here, my little Needleminder. Ready? Ta-da! Llama face! So yeah, the llama is done, his little saddle is done, the pumpkin is done except for the handle and the back stitching, and he has a little face. I love his little llama face, it's so cute. Little eyelashes, I don't know if you can see, but he does have little backstitched eyelashes. Because if you've ever seen, right, llamas and alpacas, in real life, they have the longest eyelashes. They're so pretty. So yeah, and then I have, all of the leaves of the one color on this side done. So, I mean, it is literally, I think I have 3 leaves. So I have this big red leaf here, this leaf here, and this yellow leaf here, and the border. That's all that's left. And the back stitching on the pumpkin and the handle. But the handle of the pumpkin is the same color floss as the border, and the pumpkin handle is only 3 stitches. So what I'm probably going to do is, do the 3 stitches on the handle and then run my floss under the llama, probably down to his feet, and pick up the border down there so I'm not having to cut and snip and restart. But this guy is so close to being done, and I'm super excited. So now I'm just facing the dilemma of, do I finish him in May so I have a finish? Or do I wait and finish him at StitchCon so I can go ring the bell? Dilemma. So those were my 2 Mania patterns for this week. And then my last one was I forgot to put my Needleminder back. Sorry. My last pattern that I worked on, and like I said earlier, I literally put 12 stitches in it. Actually, I put more than 12 stitches in it. I just put a handful of stitches in it so that I could have a new start to show you this morning. And I hope, I'm not sure if I'll have more stitchy time this afternoon, but I hope that I will. So the pattern is, so this is a pattern that I'm stitching as part of mental health awareness. The 614 Stitcher, who has some beautiful patterns. If you don't watch her Flosstube, I strongly encourage you to go check her out. She every year, instead of Mania, does a mental health themed pattern. She chooses one and then has a hashtag, I think it's Mental Health Awareness Sal, and invites people to stitch that same pattern with her. I am stitching from stash, so I didn't want to purchase the pattern. I went through the patterns I already owned or already had, and looked for something that would sit or fit. So I'm not technically doing the Sal, but I liked the thought of doing something mental health focused during Mental Health Awareness Month in May. So I had in my digital files on my computer some patterns that I had gotten out of Contemporary Cross Stitch Collection, which I think is a magazine. So one of the things that I did, and that I still do, is my library uses or has available to us with our library cards the Libby app. And we can download ebooks and audiobooks and things like that, or check out just like we would from the physical library. And so on a whim one day, I just did a search for cross stitch just to see what they had. And they had all kinds of books and one-off magazine publications, as well as they have a subscription to Cross Stitcher and Just Cross Stitch. So I get an alert every time a new issue of those magazines is released, and I'm able to check out the digital copy. And when I see patterns that I like, depending on the size of the pattern, sometimes I'll actually go out and buy the magazine so I can have the physical paper pattern. But I do use the name of an app that is escaping me right now on my iPad with digital patterns to keep track as well. And so sometimes I'll just save the pattern to my computer. And so that's what this one is. And it is, like I said, it's from Contemporary Cross Stitch Collection. The actual pattern is on here, so I'm trying to cover that up. But I am stitching this little thing that says, grow through what you go through, which really resonated with me. Those of you who watched my last video when I showed or shared that this was what I was stitching, I talked about it a little bit there too. That's definitely my mantra. Some of the things that I've been through, my cancer diagnosis and treatment, my divorce and the circumstances around that, which were pretty crappy, to say it mildly. I sort of said to myself, okay, well, I have to go through this, right? This is apparently my path right now. And so I can either let it make me bitter or I can let it make me better. I can choose to grow from it and learn about myself from it, and be better prepared for whatever comes next. And so this resonated with me. So this is what I chose to stitch for Mental Health Awareness Month. And this is where I'm at with the 10 minutes that I stitched on it before I started recording, because I wanted to have a new start to show you. So that is my stitchy progress this week. Hopefully I'll have some more time today to work on it. So let me go into haul, because that's really all I have left. And part of my haul is finally, I think I had mentioned in a previous video that I had ordered Needleminders from Needle Attractions on Facebook, and that she had shipped them out to me end of March, very beginning of April, and they were on holiday somewhere in the postal service system. I kept checking the tracking and they weren't moving. They were shipped from Louisiana, and sort of the shipping time was right around when Louisiana had been hit with some really terrible storms. So I let things go longer than maybe I normally would for first class mail before I reached out to the postal service and was like, where's my stuff? But then I finally did at the end of April reach out and say, okay, like it has been a month since this thing shipped and it hasn't moved. Like, what's going on? So then I did get an email back from the Postal Service saying it is still in transit. We're very sorry. I'll continue to keep an eye on it till it's delivered. And then what do you know? Like the next day it was in Pittsburgh, and then like 2 days later it was in my mailbox. At least they arrived. But when I say some Needleminders, I kind of lost my mind that night on Facebook. I don't know what I was thinking, but I got far more Needleminders than I will ever use at one time, but that's okay, because now I have choices. And I think one of my next craft projects is going to have to be making some sort of fun display, like either getting like a thing of metal in a frame, or like some I don't know. I'm going to have to do something so that I can display my Needleminders, because right now they're just all in a drawer. But point of this long-winded story is this is one of the Needleminders that I got from her. It says it's too peoply outside, and with a little sleepy kitty. I am an introvert. And so some days this is just how I feel, that it's too peoply outside and I need to stay inside. So that's one of the Needleminders I got. And then here are all of the others that I got. So yeah, if you're not familiar with Needle Attractions, she has a Facebook storefront. I believe that's the only location she's in. I don't think she's on Etsy or anything like that. But it's called Needle Attractions. And I believe Kim is the name of the owner. And yeah, she's on Facebook. And they're great little, I think all the ones I got are, I don't know, is this plastic? I don't know. But she has wooden ones, she has resin ones. So I got these that I just thought were cute, because you all know how much I love my kitties. So there's just a cute little kitty in the yarn that I thought was just adorkable, and the little rainbow unicorn kitty, or I guess not rainbow, I guess sort of rainbow. I don't know. He's cute. That's why I got him. So there's those. And then I got these I just thought were funny. So as you know, I'm stitching the Schitt's Creek inspired pattern of I'm Positively Bedeviled by Meetings. And even though I have a Needleminder on that one, I'm going to swap it out because now I have a Rosebud Motel Needleminder. So that obviously has to go on that pattern. And then this one I thought was just hilarious and so true for me. It says, I'm not an early bird or a night owl. I'm some sort of permanently exhausted pigeon. And there are days I definitely feel that. So And apparently the day I saw this on her Needle Attractions Facebook page was a day I was feeling that way. So I got those 2 Needleminders, and then I got this Needleminder. I just loved the artwork. It says, "Once upon a time, there was a girl who really loved cats. It was me. The end." And then I had my It's Too Peoply outside. And then one of the fun things that Kim does is typically she'll toss in an extra Needleminder. And so this little bunny is not one I ordered, but she tossed it in. Thank you, Kim. Super cute. And it'll be great for my springtime or Easter patterns, or just one that I want a bunny on. So those were all my new Needleminders. And the sad thing is I have 3 more coming from her because she had another sale a few weeks later. And there was one that I had my eye on before and missed out on that I got this time. And then a couple others. Then honestly, I don't even remember what the couple others were. So it'll be like a surprise when they arrive. So, and those shipped. Those are shipping this weekend, I think. And yeah. And then the last thing is one more pattern. So Stoney Creek has their pattern of the month, right? And they're releasing a series of 4 Halloween themed patterns. April was the Screechy Owl, and May is the Creepy Toad. I mean, seriously, how cute is that? And I got the button pack to go with it. The little creepy little spider and a couple stars. I think the stars glow in the dark, so that's kind of cool. So I'm still trying to decide. I don't even know when I'm going to stitch these. I'm really excited for next month for the little witchy fox because, I mean, seriously, that fox is so stinking cute. So I don't know if I'm going to stitch them in the banner like this and order the door pull or the bell pull. It's not a handle, but I guess the topper. Or if I'm going to stitch them individually, or I don't know what I'm going to do with them. But they're adorable, and I can't wait for the fox next month. I think it's my favorite. So that is what I got. So that is my video for this week. I'm really happy with my progress. I'm looking forward to this week. I'm not sure how much stitching time I'm going to get this week. It really might be truly just my 20 minutes in the morning between buses, or between my daughter's bus and when my son gets up, because my daughter is making her confirmation this week. So she has a rehearsal Monday night, and Tuesday night Tuesday night they're with their dad because it's his birthday. So Tuesday night I might have some time to stitch. But Wednesday night is her confirmation mass. Friday we leave to go camping for the weekend. Somewhere in there are like, I think 4 softball games that are trying to be rescheduled. So I have no idea what this week is going to look like. I might have tons of time to stitch. I might have 0 time to stitch. But hopefully I will see you all next week, even if it's just for a very short little video. I do have a subscription box that's supposed to be arriving this week. So if nothing else, maybe I'll just have an unboxing of that. But I hope that you enjoyed seeing my progress this week on my patterns. I hope, again, that those of you celebrating Mother's Day have an absolutely glorious day filled with the people and the things that you love. Of course, I wish that for all of you, whether you're celebrating Mother's Day or not. Welcome again to my new subscribers. If you have stumbled upon my video for the first time and liked what you saw, I hope that you will like the video and subscribe. Ring that bell so you get a notification. I typically upload every weekend, sometimes on Saturday, sometimes on Sunday. Sort of just depends on how my weekend is going. And have a blessed day. I look forward to the next time we get to spend some time together. Thank you for watching. Take care.